is the common app which we all have. There is something unique in this. That is iMessage. In iMessage, you can share your videos, your audio files, your images, etc. through messages using internet. Game Center. We all play games. This is a place. This is an app in which your friends become your enemy and your enemy becomes your friend. You can set your records, play a game, and build your own records. FaceTime. You can get your loved ones close to you because even though they are far away from you. So this app is very much useful for far distance communication. Android. Using your Apple device, you can stream your video or any file, any media to another Apple device. Map. The world is in your hand. Like if you are stuck out somewhere, if you are lost somewhere, this app gets you back to your place. So now I'll show you hardware and software made for each other. We have heard that couples are made for each other. Romeo and Juliet, Heer and Ranjana. This is like the hardware and software made for each other because Apple makes both the hardware and the operating system for iPad, iPhone and iPod Touch. Everything is designed to work together. So apps take full advantage of hardware features such as the retina display, the multi-touch interface, the accelerometer, 3-axis bureau, accelerated graphics and more. FaceTime is a perfect example. It uses both front and back cameras, display, microphone, and your Wi-Fi connection. So to know more about hardware and software, I would like to call Tosh to show about more hardware and software.
There's a famous quote by Alan Kay. How many of us know about Alan Kay? Who is he? We all study his subject right now in this semester. We know the window engine graphics, GUI. It is introduced by Alan Kay. Another thing, object-oriented programming. We might hate him for doing that, but anyway, he is known for that. He has designed it. So you guys read the code, right? No? People who are really serious about software should make their own hardware. That's the success formula of Apple industry so far. That's the whole key. Okay, now this is the iOS architecture, kernel and the user space. Now these are certain applications which Bhavik explained just now. Third-party applications and Apple applications. We know that app stores allow us to install third-party applications and Apple applications are inbuilt, which Bhavik explained just now. Okay. Now apart from that, in user space, Cocoa Touch is the one. See, these are few abstraction layers of an SDK. SDK is something which explains the kernel and the development of iOS. Software development kit. Okay, so here's the first section, Cocoa Touch. Cocoa Touch is it's an API of Mac OS X. Now let me tell you one thing, that while presenting keynote video, Steve Jobs said that we want something revolutionary. Their device, when they launched iOS, when they launched their iPhone, first iPhone, they said our iPhone, the phone itself is going to be revolutionary. Everybody will be having their phone, a smartphone. It will be actually a smartphone. It will have a full integrated browser in it. Full integrated browser, not a web, not a mini browser. And another thing, communication throughout the internet seamlessly, wirelessly. So now Cocoa Touch. Cocoa Touch is the basic interface which we use actually in iPhone. Whenever we touch an iPhone or iDevice, any other iDevice, we touch Cocoa. So Cocoa Touch is actually part of Mac OS X. As Steve said, that they want to make their OS so strong that they actually put the whole kernel of Mac OS X, the desktop kernel, into the mobile platform. And this is how they do. So they they placed their Cocoa Touch. The Cocoa API was developed for desktop, and the part of that API they introduced in iOS, and that's why it is Cocoa Touch. You can touch. So the Cocoa Touch is something which is written in Objective-C. As you all know that Mac OS is pattern you can say. We will come across design patterns maybe in our curriculum, or after we become a programmer, we realize what actually design pattern is, how the software are designed actually in industry, and there are good practices and bad practices. Design patterns will make us follow the good practices and deliver a great software. So yeah, it has the model view controller. It's one of the best design patterns as of now. Then it has features like core animation, multitasking, gesture recognition. As we all know, we all feel that, we all touch the Coco, and we all know in some or the other way somebody's iOS being used, and we know how multitasking, how gesture recognition, and how core animation in iOS is. The second section is media. Media handles graphics, audio, and video. Now, graphics has OpenGL ES. OpenGL is Open Graphics Library. It is well known and it's portable to all operating system platforms, and numerous games. Almost 80 to 90% games are developed using OpenGL today. So, OpenGL ES is special developed for embedded systems like these PDAs and mobiles today. Quartz is the core graphics I explained you just now. Then core audio. Audio, we also know that iPhone is such a great MP3 player. iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch, they are made for music. As Bhavik explained how they are. So open audio library, that is also placed in it. The library itself is so rich and so magnificent in playing its own media. And video, of course, we heard just Bhavik explained that media player is also included in the iPod itself. So next is then address book, we all know. Core foundation, the foundation of the operating system in it. Then core location. Now I would like to say some few things about core location. They are introduced in iPhone after second release, in second OS release. The first iPhone was not able to locate the actual position, and it didn't have the map application that way, the way which is today, which shows in any other application, in any other smartphone we see our current location in this maps. First generation, first iPhone, it was not there. But then they came up with something, and they came up with what they call as Skyhooks wireless Wi-Fi based positioning system. Now what was that? I mean, they could locate their phones when they are in Wi-Fi. I mean, today we know, we track GPS and we know where we are right now. But that time that technology was not there at all. So that time, using wireless technology, Wi-Fi, or the mobile internet system, they used to track the location of the particular person, and they used to show on the map. That is how they explain OS 2.0. And then they released 2.3, in which they used tower triangulation method, in which actually tower triangular means when a person is standing here, there are towers around. We know cell phone towers are there around all around. So 3 towers are selected around that particular person. The triangular is made. And then after using various algorithms, they find that which is the closest tower to the particular person, and from that distance, they locate their position. And that is how they introduced in the OS 3, the location of the particular person. Still, GPS was not introduced in it. After iPhone 3GS was launched, GPS was introduced and magnetometer was introduced in it. So after that, using GPS was much more easier and much more accurate. In iPhone 4S, they have used GLONASS. So that is also a magnetometer and GPS system in the iPhone 4S, which is better, much more accurate than the. And it helps us to. We have heard about the features like the nearby burger joint or something, or places of interest or some whatever we ask for, they show us. Now, core Darwin, the system utility and match kernel. Next. Core services have these sections. These are the features. We are aware of networking, which is very essential today in any operating system. Without internet, the operating system seems very dull, very bored, very dull. So networking, then embedded SQLite. We all require database. So SQLite was embedded in the iOS. The core location I explained. Threads. We all know about threads. We study moves. So threads are executed. Then core motion. It is part of core location. Next. Now the main kernel of the operating system. It has TCP/IP, it has sockets, it has power management, because that's the more very important thing. Power management in a mobile device is very important thing. So power management was the key feature. And file system, of course, it has HFS plus file system. In any Apple device they use HFS plus. And the security, we all know that how secure a Mac desktop is. So the same kernel is placed in the iOS, and hence it is much more secure. I explained about core location here. Xcode. Xcode is an IDE. IDE is integrated development environment. Now, we all know there are various editors for writing a code. We write C++ programs in Turbo C, or we write in Notepad also, and we save as CPP file, we can execute that. So those are all editors, basic editors. But what are IDEs? IDEs are very smart. So they are very smart software. They are very smart tools which allows developer to utilize their time in more creativity and more development and more security, making their software more interesting and better instead of writing each and every line of code on their own. These are certain libraries in it, and this is the canvas in which we drag and drop the UI of the iPhone and we can develop it. Next. Okay, now there are few features which Bhavik explained, but one, the Safari was there. He skipped that purposely. See, Safari, the way Steve Jobs himself said that he wanted to put whole operating system into the mobile, and how that was possible. To make his customers satisfied, how that was possible. So he implemented whole, the best browser in the world as of now, the fastest WebKit. We are aware of WebKit, HTML5 and all work on WebKit platform. So WebKit was implemented in Safari. That's the one. That is developing WebKit was the one of Apple is the one of the core committee in developing WebKit. That's it. That is used for rendering the web pages and all. Yeah. So it handles SVGs, scalable vector graphics, which we use for websites and all. HTML5, we can develop applications in HTML5 and we can code in the iPhone. JavaScript and CSS3 are used in all websites and which are supported. Other programming language in which we can develop applications are Java, .NET, Flash, and HTML5 as I explained. Jailbreak is quite long, but we can solve the topic actually.
Yeah, summarize and tell what is the meaning of jailbreak.
Okay, jailbreaking is actually very important topic of the iOS. This is it now. This is done. It's over. So jailbreaking is a very important aspect of operating system. For that, I have to give little info about the Steve Jobs himself. The way he used to develop and the way he used to create. Why he was so known person, why he was so creative, why he was so visionary. He was dedicated to his work so much that he used to select the developers, he used to select the engineers in his field, and he used to take it to one particular place. They had created a mansion and they used to live there only. They never used to visit their relatives, they never go back to home. They used to live there and they used to develop there. So in that, what happened once
He wanted them to work in his own way.
Yeah,
the way
he
he
used to work
wanted.
in his own.
So
that
you
way.
used to train
So,
them accordingly.
In that, actually, what happened was now.
And what they did as a jailbreak.
No, he didn't do the jailbreak.
No, he didn't do the programmers must
The
have done.
programmers. Yeah, actually, what happened is the conflict between the developer and the visionary person. It usually happens when they visualize something and developer comes up with something, they just blow them away. And it was so heated environment that he threw him out of the company. I mean, you can imagine those selected developers, they are so genius, and they throw him out of the company, which made him so pissed. And he gathered few people like himself around who hated Steve Jobs, and they started jailbreaking the iOS. Now, what happens in jailbreaking is they allow root access. Like in Windows, we can access system32 files in Windows folder and all. We can access DLL files, but we cannot decode them. But we can access those files. In Windows, it was open, but in this iOS, it's not accessible. There is nothing like File Explorer. So, jailbreak was something which allowed access to the root file system. And after allowing this root file system access, the other developers could develop their own third-party applications for iPhones, and that is how today 90% of applications in India, at least, are unofficial. They are cracked because of this jailbreak. That is it.